¿Qué pasa, tío?
¿Qué pasa, tío? España!
So today is Sunday when we're filming this, and Spain just won the World Cup.
World Cup.
So I feel like we've only been soccer fans for a couple of years
Yeah.
since our son got into it. Um,
No, but for real, like, we barely knew anybody that even played until this year.
yeah, no,
Really.
I learned off of playing FIFA. That's how I had to learn. He got into it, and I was like, whatever the kids are into, I really want to learn.
Yeah.
So I got into it, and we really followed along this World Cup, and it was fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I never thought that I would be that interested in soccer.
Yeah, and it helps that we have friends in Spain. So
Yeah. So today, when the match was about to start, we were like texting everybody, like, España! And he had on his shirt and his um
Scar.
scarf from the team in Seville. So that was fun.
Yeah, it was. It was a good match. Close.
It was a lengthy match to go so long without scoring. It was frustrating for most
Right.
of the game.
But then to see the way that the World Cup has played out this year and the way that they've used that platform really
Yeah.
kind of flows into exactly what we want to talk about
Yeah.
today. I mean, I feel like, but I want to ask you, do you know one thing that I've been really working hard at?
What?
I feel like I've been working hard at being humble, and I think I'm the best at it now.
I knew you were going somewhere silly with that, but I just
uh,
didn't know quite what you were going to say.
yeah. So, what are we talking about today?
We are going to talk about, as promised, uh, things in our daily lives that are glorifying to God or that are not glorifying to God. In the normal, mundane, where do you draw the line?
Okay, so for me, a verse that really stands out on this topic is First Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, so whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God.
So, what's the context of that?
So the context is Paul is talking to Corinthians, Christians in Corinthian, or in Corinth
In
rather.
Corinth, yeah.
Uh, and they were having the debate on, was it okay to eat meat in the marketplace that was used for pagan feast, or given for pagan worship and stuff.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I feel like what Paul was getting at is you don't want to do anything to make someone else stumble.
Yeah.
You don't want to, in today's sense, I think it's common knowledge now that drinking wine like they did in biblical times is not a sin.
Mm.
That's like, there's still some older churches that, and their bylaws or whatever it may say, don't drink any alcohol.
Yeah.
But it's not a sin. You're not supposed to be drunk. And so ultimately, like Paul was talking about, I feel like if you're talking about someone that's had struggles with drinking, or even really in our culture in the South, versus Spain, it's a great time to bring that up.
Yeah.
Is like in the South, if you're seen drinking, that can kind of hurt your witness.
Yeah.
Even
Definitely.
even if it's one glass of wine with dinner, somebody will just kind of be like, I don't know if we can trust
Well, I
him.
mean, to be honest, there have been times that, like, we've drank in front of people that I wish, like, looking back on it, I just wish that we wouldn't have.
Yeah,
So it's definitely a real thing because I kind of feel like that's hurt our witness in some situations.
right. Yeah, and but then you go to Spain, and I know a lot of people we know in Spain are Catholic, and they're not necessarily active in their church or
Right.
anything. But over there, it's not, what do you want to drink? A Coke, a Pepsi, sweet tea. It's, what alcoholic beverage do you want?
Yeah. What can I
And
get you? A beer or wine?
and
You say water, they're looking at you kind of like,
yeah,
what?
and they casually drink without ever thinking, okay, this person may not truly be following Christ or anything.
Yeah.
And it's a little different where we actually live, where it's, you know, if somebody sees you in the beer store, it's probably going to be talked about.
Yeah.
Um, Not that it should be that way, but you don't want to be a stumbling block for even somebody, let's say, that did struggle with alcohol and got sober, and they're looking up to you, or they think, okay, this person's poured a lot into me, so I just, kind of want to follow their lead. Now, granted, you don't want to put all of your faith in man because of
Yeah.
that reason, but at the same time, if somebody is doing that with you, then you don't want to be that stumbling block for them. And I think that's what Paul ultimately is getting at with the meat there, and the food. That's why he specifically used whatever you eat or drink.
Yeah.
And he's not saying that literally everything you do, you have to be worshiping God in that moment.
Mhm.
He's just saying that be mindful of everything you do.
Yeah.
And if it's eating or drinking, have God at the forefront of your mind.
Mhm. Like basically don't do something that could be harmful to someone else.
Right. But so, like, I know what we're getting into a little bit, or at least to give you guys a heads up on how we wanted to approach this topic and topics moving forward. We didn't want to talk too much about the topic the week before
Yeah.
because I feel like then we get on camera and it's not as authentic.
Right.
And so we want to have a true conversation about, okay, so if I'm having this conversation with you and with her, well, it's not a real conversation if I've already had it with her and I'm just hashing it
Yeah.
back out.
Yeah.
So she's got a whole book of notes over here, and
Mm.
I know she's ready to go. And I've kind of been, taking my own path. So I don't know how we're going to kind of combine
Yeah.
what we both get from this topic,
Yeah.
but it's interesting. And I think one thing that I got from it though is when you think of disconnecting, because that's the one thing. Like, if I want to do something where I just want to disconnect, that was where my struggle was when I came to this topic of if I want to go for a walk, if I want to shoot basketball just to get lost in my thoughts for a minute, if I want
Mm.
to go out and walk in the woods, weed eat, mow, do whatever, just something that it's just, it feels good to do for myself. But then you're thinking, okay, but is that selfish? How am I glorifying God in if I'm doing something like watching a TV show? I can't glorify God all the time in doing that. And then it's like, okay, but I
Yeah,
feel
not like a literal conscious effort all the time.
right. But then I
Yeah.
feel like, okay, wait, I feel like I'm putting chains on Christ in a sense because Christ, being a follower of Jesus, brings freedom. So it's
Yeah.
like, so why am I kind of burdening myself with that, so to speak?
Yeah.
And ultimately, I feel like it's not that every decision you have to make has to be an act of worship to God.
Mhm.
It just has to be that, is it becoming an idol? Is it taking up too much of your time? And that's again where the line is.
Yeah.
And what is the purpose in it?
Yeah.
So, like, a lot of kids are playing video games.
Mhm.
Our son likes video games.
Heck, I like video games, just not in the same manner.
Right. And I play. I do.
Yeah.
I don't play as much as I did when I was younger, but
Yeah.
um what's too much? And then it's like, okay, well, is it becoming an idol? Or what is my purpose in doing it? And I think to disconnect, what kind of helped me come to a resolution on, like, okay, how can I feel okay about this without feeling like I need to be singing a hymn, a worship song,
Yeah.
in prayer, reading the Bible, whatever outside of work, that's what I need to be doing. And it's like, well, God made us to need rest.
I went to rest in what I was thinking about too.
So I feel like it's okay to do those things to disconnect.
Yeah.
And I think God understands that because He's designed us to need that rest.
Yeah.
It's just we have to be mindful of how much time we're willing to spend on it
Yeah.
versus A.W. Tozer had a quote, and I don't have notes like you, so I don't have it
Mm.
written down, but it was something like pretty much where your time goes is where your worship is.
Mhm.
So it's like there's nothing wrong with doing those activities to disconnect, but is that the majority of your time is going toward
Yeah.
that?
But I mean, some activities like video games can be a connection tool too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, okay, I can be on my phone and be doing absolutely nothing, or I can be on my phone connecting with people. Like I can be on social media wasting time or killing time, however you want to phrase it, resting really, kind of like put my brain on relax mode. Or I can be on my phone connecting with people online and being intentional about pouring life into people and speaking life into people and
Yeah, but I feel like that's two different things. I feel like one is rest, and one is glorifying God.
yeah,
And so it's the rest side. How much rest are you giving to that to justify it as well? This is my rest time.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, like if I'm shooting basketball, first of all, my body is a temple. So we talk about it a lot. We like to play basketball. This is
yeah.
actually a basketball shirt
Mm,
uh, from Spain. But if we're shooting basketball, we don't think about the exercise we're getting. And that's part of the reason why we love to shoot basketball.
mm,
It's because we can get just lost in playing the game. Well, taking care of our bodies is an act of worship in a
mm-hmm.
sense. Um, but is basketball what we're worshiping, or are we being mindful about truly trying to take care of our body, and that's why we're doing it? And so I think the purpose behind what you're doing does matter, kind of like what you're
Your
saying,
intent matters.
right? And so, like, if you're just playing video games because you love video games and it's taking up all of your time, same with TV or same with social media, you're not just doing it to rest. You're doing it because that's what you enjoy.
Yeah, but is there too much of a good thing?
Yeah.
Like if I'm spending all evening watching TV and I've been watching TV for 4 hours and I still haven't gotten up and made you guys dinner and you're outside doing yard work and the kids are doing whatever they're doing, like maybe that's at that point, like I'm spending too much time on that.
So, what is enough? How do you?
I mean, I feel like it's is it getting in the way of the things that I do need to do, like if that makes sense. So, okay, like the example I just used. Part of my role in our house is cooking dinner. That's usually what we do. Like I cook dinner. Like maybe one of us makes lunch or breakfast or whatever, but like 9 times out of 10, I'm cooking dinner.
Yeah.
So that's a way for me to serve you guys.
Yeah.
So if I'm not doing that, like I'm missing out on an opportunity to glorify God through serving you guys. You know,
I am thankful she cooks
I'm
because
not good at it, but I keep it simple and that helps.
it's better than me. And I would maybe you can. Is there a way I serve you? Because
There's plenty of ways
it
that you
sure
serve
isn't
me.
cooking. I just
No,
know that.
yeah.
Um.
It's not your gift, honey. It's
Yeah.
not it's not mine either. It's just
Yeah.
I guess I'm a little more and I'm a little bit better at grocery shopping and putting the meals together than you might be.
Yeah.
So,
But so with that, and you're that kind of to me follows along the lines of work. Like
mm,
there's a purpose in work,
yeah.
and that's okay to
Yeah.
work with your hands, like it says in First Thessalonians.
Well, and this might be totally different than what you're going to say, but like a normal job is okay.
Yeah.
Like we don't have to all be in ministry or in a worship band or in missions.
Honestly, I've got to disagree with you, but I'm on the same page as you.
Explain.
We all do have to be a part of the ministry,
Okay, you
but
know that's not what I meant.
you're right. I know, but we all have to be a part of the ministry, but we all don't have to get paid for it.
Right.
Paul, one of the greatest evangelists there ever was didn't really get paid. I mean, he may have at times,
Yeah.
but he was bivocational. He made tents. Um, does that make him any less of a minister in that field? Absolutely not. Like, you can work with your hands, provide for your family, provide for yourself without having to lean on others, and still do things that glorify God.
Yeah.
Um, like going to work. You may work a job where it's swinging a hammer all day. Well, if you're swinging a hammer,
Throwing boxes all
if
day.
you're throwing boxes, there's not much you're thinking of like, okay, how is me throwing these boxes glorifying God? It's not. Other than the fact of your work ethic that people can see, you're in your mission field. So that's potentially a place where you can talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of times that can be difficult, but then also it's just how people view your attitude while you're going through
Yeah.
a mundane, crappy Monday.
Yeah. Well, also, like, work is a way to provide for yourself and for your family. So, I mean, if you're not even providing for your family, like, I know there's some scripture and I don't know where it is, but it talks about like providing for your family is like the
Right.
first thing.
Right.
Like,
It is. It's again a letter from Paul, but yeah, I can't think of where he was writing it, but it was even talking about taking care of your parents and taking care of your family
mm-hmm.
before you take care of others.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, as Christians, if we're taking care of our family, that's one less burden on someone else.
Right.
Um,
So, I
and
mean, work is a means to glorify God in
absolutely,
so many ways. Like
absolutely,
normal everyday jobs. I just I think a lot of people, especially people that are young and they don't have families yet, that doesn't click for them.
oh yeah,
Like uh, I used to kind of struggle with that. I'm like, well, so and so is called to be a preacher, and so has this musical gift that they're using to create worship music, and what am I doing like to further the kingdom? Like I used to just feel really lost in thinking that like, okay, it's like normal to have these normal jobs, and these people are kind of exceptional, but like the way people make it seem that are in the Christian community, it almost makes you feel like you're doing something wrong if you're not having some kind of calling like that.
right.
And
But realistically, I feel like everyone can be in that role. Like it may not be a musical role, it
mm-hmm.
may not be a teaching role, but
Right.
you have a role in the body,
Well, we all have a gift.
right? And so you have those roles, and whether you're teaching and working a normal 9 to 5, or whether you're getting paid to teach, both roles are the same. And so, like you're saying, though, I don't think even young people maybe think about, hey, I can still fulfill a role for the body
Mm-hmm.
despite having a job.
Yeah.
And I don't have to feel like if I'm not getting paid full time to do that role, then it's not as meaningful. Like we
Yeah.
have to understand that it is okay to provide for your family doing the most basic job ever. That is
Mm-hmm.
honorable. That is glorifying
Well,
God.
where is it that says I wrote it down? It was saying like work with your hands and lead a quiet life and mind your own business. Oh
First
yeah, we just
Thessalonians.
talked about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Does that not say everything about like you don't have to have this crazy big calling on your life to go out and like you can just make disciples in the everyday thing. Like
Right.
I'm just saying it doesn't have to be extreme for you to still accomplish God's will.
Yeah. Um, where's your ring?
Where's your? I was looking at both of our fingers. You don't have yours on either.
I didn't need you to call me out. I was just asking where yours was.
We've been at home all day.
Yeah. Uh, we are married.
You're silly.
Uh, she does love me. She told me this morning.
I do. I love him a whole
But
lot.
um, yeah, this is fun. Uh, so in that disconnect time, what's something that you enjoy doing to
Mm,
disconnect?
to disconnect, like to kind of like go into relax mode. Oh,
Yep.
um, it depends. Truly, to feel like I'm like doing absolutely nothing, I really love just like rotting on the couch and watching TV and playing a game on my phone.
She doesn't.
I do.
So one of my guilty pleasures can be Saturday in the fall with no plans but some college football on.
And
That
I
is
enjoy that too.
that is not because I probably spend too much time. Now, I will say we do try to invite people over and we do try to make it like a gathering. And so we have conversations in that.
Mm.
So it's not literally me just rotting on the couch, staring at the TV and just lost to the world. We try to make an event out of it sometimes if we
Yeah.
can. But I say that because you, if we
What?
watch one movie and it could be a 90-minute movie and you're just like, oh, I feel lazy today. All I've been doing is sitting here, and that's like the one movie you watch. And it's like if that's the thing you're using to rest, you just sat down for 90 minutes out of your day and you're feeling guilty
What have I
for it.
done today? I slept in. I relaxed. I watched TV. I played a game on my phone.
What did God do on the seventh day?
He rested.
That's okay.
I know, but I'm just
But I feel
saying,
like
like,
you feel guilty for doing it
no,
sometimes.
I mean, sometimes it's not that I really feel guilty. It's like I'm tired of sitting there. Like, I just genuinely, my body gets all achy if I'm just sitting there all day, especially if I'm not like in a real comfortable position or something. I
Like
want to get up and walk around and do something.
when we finish that movie, and it'll be a 90-minute movie after she's been working all day and doing whatever else, cooking dinner, and then we watch one movie, and it's like, okay, I've got to stand up and stretch.
it makes me feel better. Like sometimes I wish it wasn't so hot and so rainy here recently, and that way we can actually go on a walk. We have
Yeah,
this awesome trail on our property. It's about we have about 4 acres here where we live, and we like to walk around the trail that we made around the outside of the property.
my disconnection is going out in the woods and just clearing trails and getting lost and doing
Yeah.
random stuff.
But we haven't been able to because it's been so hot and muggy. It's like if it's not 100 and something degrees, it's pouring rain and thundering and lightning outside. So I mean, that's something that we enjoy to do together is at least walk. It's not
Yeah,
really of a disconnect thing. It's more of like a connection time for us, like get our creative juices flowing and
I will
have
say
good conversations.
that's for us is rejuvenating in a sense because
It is. I look forward to going out and walking
that's probably the
together.
most we talk about it actually being grateful too.
Yeah.
Like when are we in the woods walking the trail and not just like, man, how grateful are we for this?
Every time we're out there, we're like, I love our trail.
So, but we did have a conversation last night about this is a little off topic, but it just kind of goes along with that. In no way can we feel like God is showing favor on us. Like it's not like a okay, well, I'm a Christian, so I'm going to get special blessings.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was a conversation we had last night after a softball tournament. We were talking with some friends, and they actually brought that up,
Yeah.
and I thought it was a really good point because their whole family were going through a lot, and their son, who is,
14.
yeah, I was just gonna say he is like always the center of attention, not even on purpose.
No.
He's just being himself, but you can't help but to laugh at the kid. And
I think he's
yes,
hilarious.
but he was always telling his mom how blessed they were, and
Yeah. Things are
God's
going
yeah,
great.
God's really looking out for us. And she's like, easy now. And then they went through some really hard things in their life, and
And it happened twice in like the span of a couple of
you're
years
right,
where he was like, "Oh yeah, things are awesome." And then they went through some really hard stuff again.
yeah. And it's like just because you're going through hard things doesn't mean that Christ isn't there.
Yeah, and
But
just because everything's great doesn't mean you have all this crazy favor from the Lord all of a sudden.
yeah,
Like,
So who comes to mind when you think about those kind of trials and things biblically?
Job.
I heard something the other day. I know I'm bouncing, but I heard something the other day that said, you've always heard the joke of there was one thing that God didn't allow him to touch.
Yeah, his wife.
And what's the joke?
That basically his wife wasn't a good thing, so he didn't need to take the wife away from
Yep.
Job.
So I heard it from a
But the Bible says he who finds a wife finds a good thing.
yes.
So
Well, I heard a different perspective that I really loved, and it said Satan couldn't touch the wife because God said Satan could take anything or could touch anything but Job. Job was married to his wife,
so
and
they're
so they
one.
won.
Also think about the purpose of marriage being the representation of Christ in the
Yep.
church. So it's kind of like another thing saying like we're not going to be separated from Christ. We're going to be together.
Yeah.
So that's I was reading about marriage earlier when I was like getting ready for all this. So it's just crazy that we're talking about that.
You were get so what were you talking about specifically to do with marriage
I
and
was
this?
thinking about that that's a huge area of glorifying the Lord. That's like if I'm thinking of all the things in my life that I'm a part of or that I do or that I don't do, whatever, like marriage is the thing that I feel like can be used the most in my life to be glorifying to God.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I was thinking about that.
So just serving one another? Is that
Yeah, pretty much. Well, and just being, I mean, joyful in marriage and not.
speaking of being joyful and serving one another, she made a song for me. And I know you guys may have seen it.
Look, I'm not musically talented, so don't get it twisted. This song was made by a company that does this.
Right. I was going to say you guys may have seen it to where you can, I guess, feed it information or something, and then it makes the song for you about your spouse or whoever.
Hmm.
Um, so she did this. I didn't know the motive behind it was to try to see if I would cry, but
That was my personal my personal motive.
but yeah. So she played it for me with her camera sitting up, filming me, and I'm just listening to the song. I'm thinking she just play me in this song, and
Then it said your name.
yeah. Well, even before then, whenever it started and it started with some stuff, and I'm just like that. I'm resonating with this song. I
I
like this.
wonder why.
Yeah, you're right. And then it says my name, and I'm just like, oh, I got you. And then I realized why the phone was sitting up the way it was, and yeah, it was sweet though, and I feel like a way to yeah show like you love me, and I thought that was pretty awesome.
I'm glad you loved it.
Yeah, like even my family, she put it on social media, and my family had commented one thing about I love the way that you love him or something like
Hmm.
that, and it's like it's
Yeah, your
just
cousin.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just awesome that even my family sees the way you serve me, um, which
You're gonna make me cry. Stop.
it helps though that we have a family group chat. Most of my family lives out of state,
Yeah.
so we have a family group chat, and she's sending. She says she's not a great cook. She takes pictures like she's a great cook of everything she fixes,
Well,
and
no, I did that because okay, his stepdad has been posting what he's been cooking
mm,
on his social media. So then I just thought it was like a good conversation starter
yeah,
because like if he's gonna post his food, I'm like, okay, if because we go spurts without really talking much in there. Like we might be active like 100 messages in 2 hours one night and then go 3 weeks without really sending anything. So my motive behind doing that was more of like to get a conversation going so we can stay in touch with everybody.
yeah.
So that's why I've been sending my food in there every day. Yeah.
It looks good on photo though. It does.
Oh,
And
you're saying it looks better in photo than it does in real life?
no, it tastes good too. Uh so I guess down to the hard part of the conversation though. If
Okay.
yeah, so what about things that completely oppose glorifying God? What are some of those things that what can that look like?
You're talking about things that definitely don't.
Right.
Well, like sin.
But uh, can you think of anything that could be a sin, but at least in American culture or um even in worldly culture, we don't even necessarily take it as sinful. Like, and it could be a sin or it could be on that borderline.
I mean, I'm honestly drawing a blank. Can you kind of tell me where you're going with this?
Well, I was just thinking things like um smoking, uh
Yeah.
eating too much, not taking care of your body.
I mean, I feel like eating too much is like straight up sinful.
And I struggle with that. And I know it sounds
Yeah.
stupid because
I
I'm
I mean, we ate out last night and I'm like getting full and I'm like, why am I still eating? And then I felt miserable all the way home and I'm just like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not like, I don't struggle with that in like a major way, but we go out and we have a good meal. I'm like
but
struggling to
what makes
stop
that so
eating
hidden for us?
that we're not big people.
We're just not naturally big people.
Yeah.
And so you can look at me and be like, okay, gluttony may not be something he struggles with.
That's not talked about enough.
But man, can I put away some food? There's people twice my size that I put away food more than they can.
Yeah.
And, they be impressed by it. And I'm like over here puffed up on it, like, heck yeah, I could put away some food. And then you think about it, and it's like, man, I was full about 10 bites ago. Why
Yeah.
did I keep eating?
Yeah. I mean, I struggle with like, okay, say we're at an event and there's like a table of food out. Maybe I've already eaten, but I just go by and I'm grazing. That's where I'm like, that's where I struggle. My food's still sitting in front of me and I'm just, you know what I mean?
So, and this is a hard conversation to have because this is a struggle we don't have though. But consuming drinks and food or smoking and vaping, things that are harming our bodies,
Mm-hmm.
that, okay, drinking a Diet Coke that I don't even know if they can see it, but
It's all, yeah.
drinking a Diet Coke
This is
isn't a
a
sin,
guilty pleasure for me.
but it isn't a sin. But there is that line of, okay,
If I'm drinking 12 20-ounce Diet Cokes in a day, first of all, I'm not being good with my money. So that's not being a good steward of the resources that the Lord's provided for me. But also, my body's probably going to start having some problems. I'm thinking like liver, kidneys,
right.
those kind of things because of the ingredients in that.
And so that's what I was talking about, things that can kind of be on the opposite end of this,
Yeah.
of it's not necessarily a sin, but there's that fine line of, okay, now it's a sin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were talking about First Corinthians chapter 10 earlier, and a couple of different times in there, like verse 23 says, everything is lawful. Obviously, it's not talking about things that are like directly sinful, but he says everything is lawful, but not everything is helpful.
Yeah.
And then in another spot, he says, everything you say, I can do whatever I want. Essentially, that's the gist of it. Says you say I can do anything, but not everything is constructive. So it's like, okay, I can have a Diet Coke, but maybe that's not constructive to, like it's not helpful.
Right.
It's not
But we,
sinful,
but
but it's
we,
not
and we
helpful.
have the freedom
Right.
to do that. I have coffee right here.
Yeah.
Like, I have the freedom to drink that, but I have to be mindful of how that's affecting me.
Well,
And
again, like think about, I don't need to get too far away from my mic here, but think about if you were having like several pots of coffee per day, just you. You're having so much caffeine, for example, energy drinks. If I have 800, 1200 milligrams of caffeine in a day, I'm running a risk of my heart giving out at me at a pretty young age.
yeah,
Is that glorifying to the Lord if I'm not here to take care of my family anymore?
or you're not here to witness to some people that could come into your life if you would take care of yourself.
Yeah. So I just think about like, I feel like sometimes we get it twisted with like food, especially because the Bible talks specifically about like, they're buying the meat and he's saying it's okay to eat that unless you know it's like an idol sacrifice type of thing. And it's like, I think it really depends. Like, we just don't need to be overindulging in everything, like even sugar or like overly processed food
Yeah.
sometimes because of the detriment it can cause to our bodies.
I feel like this can be a hard conversation too, um, in the Christian community because as Christians, we have that freedom.
Yeah.
Like Jesus came to break those chains of like, hey, we can have bacon.
Yeah. Praise the
Hallelujah.
Lord.
Yeah, we can have bacon, we can have those things, but the hard conversation is our bodies are still temples
Yeah.
and taking care of them does matter. So diet, exercise, things like that are important
Mhm.
and they're not easy. Um,
Yeah.
Realistically, for some people that may be easy, and talking to people about God may be hard. But on the flip side, some people may have it to where it's easy to talk to people about God, and it's just hard to find the motivation to work out.
Mhm.
And just because one is easy and one is hard doesn't mean you need to just focus on one. Like, I feel like it helps the body of Christ if we're trying to take care of ourselves while also taking care of others,
Yeah.
essentially.
And it's not like a thing that has to be selfish or like you don't have to be a what's the word I'm looking for? Like you're vain.
Right.
You don't have to be vain to care about taking care of your body. And I think it's tricky as a Christian too because am I scared of death? I mean, I think everyone is a little bit, but not really. Like I know that at the end of my life I'm gonna be with the Lord. Like I'm not nervous about that. So if something were to happen to me and I died young, like I'm not nervous for myself and for my soul, if that makes sense. But that doesn't mean that I just get to be frivolous with my body and do whatever I want all the time. Because, like, if I'm still on the earth, I have a purpose, and I can't serve that purpose as well if I'm bedridden and can't walk and, like sick.
Yeah. Well, and that also goes back to watching TV or playing video games or doing things that don't help you be active and to where you're a body at rest stays at rest. So you get in that cycle of you don't want to rest too much. Um, that can be an issue. So it
Mm-hmm.
can be even, okay, I'm taking care of my body. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But are you overdoing it?
Yeah,
Are you like not taking rest days?
right.
Are you taking supplements that ultimately you may be taking too much that,
Or, like, are you just obsessing over it to the
yeah,
point
where it's
where
an
it's an
idol.
idol?
Right.
Like, are you spending so much time counting macros and weighing your food out and stepping on the scale and whatever and exercising that you don't even have time to connect with people?
Or taken away from your family.
Yeah,
But then on the flip side of it, you can say the people that are wanting to rest and they're doing it too much on that side, like finding that balance.
yeah,
And I know something that I've talked to you about is something that I enjoy is really studying not just the Bible, but I like studying history.
yeah.
And
Big history nerd.
it could be biblical history, but it could be just normal history. But when I tell you I'm studying something from the first or second century church or something, it sounds like, hey, I'm glorifying God by what I'm studying. But I don't want to get so puffed up, and that actually talks about it in First Corinthians.
Yeah,
Uh, it may be chapter 8 somewhere in there, but I don't want to get so puffed up with knowledge and not have love. Like
yeah,
I don't want to get so consumed with I have all of this knowledge,
yeah.
and I have
Oh, I
not that
think
I
it's
have
I
knowledge.
think it's I think it's like in like chapter 13. I read it today
Oh,
too,
okay,
but like it's after it talks about spiritual gifts
yeah,
and if you have all the knowledge and you can teach all of the things, and maybe you speak in tongues and that's your gift, or you have the gift of healing, if you can do all of that, but you don't love people, then it's all for nothing pretty much.
Yeah. And not to say that I know a lot, because I feel like compared to most people that actually study it, not just do it as like, I just enjoy it and look through different things. I don't feel like I know a lot, but I don't want to get so caught up in like, hey, I just spent 30 minutes to an hour down this rabbit hole,
Mm-hmm.
and get prideful in that, if that makes sense. Because it's like, well, no, because just diving down this rabbit hole about something that happened in the second century, if it's not truly bringing me closer to God, then it's not really glorifying Him. I'm doing
Yeah.
that for me, and I have
Yeah.
to remember that like that's just something I enjoy. That's not, maybe something I'm using as my rest time,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not using it to try to get closer to God. I'm doing it because I just enjoy history.
Yeah.
Um, and I have to be mindful of that. It's it can be tough, but I don't want to, I guess, be thinking that I'm on the right track by doing that. And reality
Right.
is, I'm just doing something I enjoy, so it's easy for me.
Yeah. Because, like, any of us can really dive deep into something that we enjoy doing.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
that would be like if I like to watch, I mean, I really do like to watch documentaries about cults.
yeah.
And a lot of them are Christian cults. Like, they start off by saying, we believe in Jesus, we follow the
And so
Bible.
you can say I'm watching a Christian documentary in a
Yeah,
sense,
but if that's all I'm ever doing, I'm never doing any of the other things I need to be doing throughout my day. Like, that's an idol at that point.
right?
Just
Well, the
like
same way.
study could be an idol.
Well, right. And what's the point in studying or having that knowledge if you don't have love? Like kind of like what
Yeah,
we were talking about. Like,
that gets very legalistic at that
yeah.
point.
Well, and then I feel like with Christ, He came to fulfill the law. He didn't come to erase it. He came to
Yeah,
fulfill it. And so the law still applies. He says, "Keep my commandments." And we always talk about love God, love people. I thought you were going to finish it for me.
sorry. I don't know what you wanted me to say.
Love God, love people, live gospel.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted me to say that one or make disciples because I
Oh, either one. Yeah.
sometimes we
Sorry,
say the
I
other.
put you on
That's
the spot.
it's fine.
But yeah, um, so if you're living out the gospel, making disciples, if those three things, keep it pretty simple on, okay, if you're loving people and you're loving God, the commandments are pretty much going to take care of themselves.
Yeah,
But if I'm more in love with studying history and not ever wanting to even use anything that I'm learning to grow relationship with other people, or to love other people, or to grow closer to God, or to maybe even use it to weaponize,
that's
because
a big
we
issue.
talk about division,
Yeah.
and if I'm using it to weaponize to, oh yeah, well, I studied this and I know this and I know this, and that's why I
Mm-hmm.
believe this and that's why you're wrong. And
Right.
it's like, I don't think we should be studying the Bible in a way to just go and attack other people.
Yeah.
Like, is that loving?
Well, I mean, even in First Corinthians 10, it talks about how we should not be seeking our own good. So, like, if you're studying just to be able to say, hey, I know this, and I can hold it over your head that I know so much more than you, that's not good. It says, but seeking the good of many so that they may be saved.
Yeah,
Literally says that. So, I mean, and then it says it twice actually. It says, no one shall seek their own good, but the good of others. I mean, and some things that we do are self serving and they're not necessarily sinful, but like, yeah, intent
you're
matters.
right. Like, is it good to hold each other accountable? Absolutely. Do you need to defend your faith sometimes? There's a time and a place for that,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a way to do it also.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and also if you're holding someone accountable, but you're doing it to make yourself feel like I'm better. I'm on the right path and you're not. And it makes me feel good to call you out. Like that is,
versus what our topic is about, and ultimately just doing it because you want God to have the glory,
yeah,
and you're doing it because you truly love that person, because God loves that person.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's something I feel like, again, like a lot of the topics we talked about are things that you just don't typically think about, and I feel like a lot of people don't even typically talk about because, okay, glorifying God, I can go to church on Sunday, sing a few hymns, and listen to a guy talk for an hour, and I'm good. I can listen to my podcast, and I'm good. But no, like, pray without ceasing. Think about God and your mundane things.
Mm,
Um, but then at times, if you are disconnecting, you're not just 24/7 thinking about God. It's okay. He gives us that time to rest.
mm,
But what's your intent? Are you just resting to just waste away and fall into that trap? Or are you taking care of your body because you found out you enjoy taking care of your body and that is your idol? Are
yeah.
you studying history or the Bible because you just love it? Like, it's crazy to think about. You could be studying the Bible and studying the Bible becomes the idol. Like,
Yeah.
that's a strange concept, but I really
It,
feel like you can.
I completely
Because, like, where's
agree.
your prayer life? Where's your love for others?
Yeah. Like if you're doing that, if you're just studying and you're never using it to go out and have conversations and build relationships and all of this, then what is it for?
Yeah.
It's for yourself. Like maybe you feel like you have a good connection with God, love people. If you're missing that, love people.
So, hypothetical. You're living in a world, I can't say the place of the trilogy. Chivius?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I'm that your guess is as good as mine.
So, I read a trilogy years ago and I loved it. And probably last year I read it again
Mhm.
and I finally convinced her to read it. Uh, it's about kind of a post-apocalyptic time,
Yeah.
where somehow they are way in the future, but they're kind of living in a medieval type time frame,
Yeah, like it's like different villages. They're very far from each other. There's like kings and they're
knights and
yeah.
sword fighting and
Yeah, like they don't have any modern technology really.
no modern weapons and things
Yeah.
like that.
Well, they
They
don't even know what cars are.
they know of them because, well, some people do
They
because,
don't know how they work though.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they still have ancient buildings and stuff. It takes place in Italy, Switzerland,
Yeah.
um, and they still have some of the old churches and stuff. They don't have Bibles. They don't know of Christianity. It kind of just faded away uh,
Well, it
throughout
was kind of
this,
like purposely hidden.
right. And then so this man and woman, young man, young woman,
Mhm.
end up discovering part of the New Testament,
Yeah.
and they don't fully know what that is. So I guess my
I think
hypothetical,
they have part of the Old Testament first,
that's what it is,
and
right?
then they like uncover bits. Anyway, we won't ruin it for you if you
Yeah,
want to read it.
it's
It's
really
really
good.
good.
It's a great Christian trilogy.
It's
Like, I wish
awesome.
they would make a movie about it. But so that's what came to mind when I was going to ask this is in a post-apocalyptic world like that, um, and you don't have many people to talk to potentially. Back to what you were saying, I'm studying the Bible and I'm not able to spread it. Like, how can we glorify God if we don't have people around us, so to speak?
What do you mean? If you're like living off by
Well,
yourself in the woods or
yeah,
something?
like where you were saying studying the Bible but not sharing it with anyone. Um,
Well, I mean, I guess it just really depends. Like, on, if you're in a situation like some of those characters are, where, like, in the last book, there's a woman that lives in the woods who's like a healer. She lives out in a remote area of the woods. Like, I don't even know how they found her house, the way it makes it seem in the book.
yeah.
But when she sees the man and the woman approach and she understands that they need healing, she's not going out of her way to go help people with all of her herbal whatever that she has at her house, but she sees them and she, offers it to them. It's like when you're presented with the opportunity.
Okay, so kind of like an Amish community.
Yeah.
They're off to themselves. They want to kind of isolate because they want to. I would think control their environment.
Mm,
Um, I know we think some things can be a little legalistic,
yeah.
but again, it shouldn't divide. I'm saying that in the most humble way of like I respect the Amish community, and we talk
Yeah.
about
No,
like
I have like a ton of respect for them.
right, like we talk about like, hey, that is a pretty awesome lifestyle where a lot of their focus goes toward Christ.
Mm,
But it can kind of approach that legalistic
yeah.
borderline. But I will say, I feel like even though they're isolated, if they're presented with the opportunities, that's a community that is similar to what you're saying. They're going to try to glorify God in that moment. I would think so. I don't
Yeah.
personally know any Amish people, but
No, I don't either. Yeah.
just considering how much their religion matters to them, I would think that they would do the same.
Yeah.
If anybody knows any more about the Amish, and how they interact, I guess, with people outside of their community, that I'd be interested to know.
Yeah. I mean, I want to kind of hear it from all sides. So it's like any people that maybe were part of the Amish community that no longer live that lifestyle, like I would love to hear from you,
Yeah.
first of all. But just anyone who has interacted with Amish communities, especially if you do on a regular basis, like I guess I want more insight on that. So please tell us kind of how they handle those situations, and maybe you think it was a good or a bad experience when you've interacted with the Amish people and you're not in a part of it.
Yep. Well, I think I'm done with anything that I was kind of wanting to bring into the conversation tonight. Is there anything you wanted to touch on?
I had some other things, but I think that honestly, it's like so much that we should probably just save it for another time.
Yeah. Well, this is only our second episode. Episode.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that came out
Mm.
funny, but yeah, I feel like we're gonna get more and more comfortable with this. I feel like maybe it's not even great to the ears at this
Oh,
point,
I know it's not.
but
Also, I don't even know like how often I should be looking at you versus looking at the
I
camera, and
struggle with it. I
it's
feel like they're probably thinking I'm looking at you the whole time, but it's
yeah,
easy to look at. So,
yeah,
you know, you agree?
yeah.
um, but yeah, bear with us. I feel like we're gonna grow in this. It's something definitely out of our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's a great way for us to get other people's perspective. And again, kind of like what we were talking about, there's so many things out there that can be used in a negative way, but at the same time, you can use those tools to glorify God. And ultimately, that's what
Yeah,
helped us want to start this is to somehow use what little platform we have to glorify God.
yeah. Well, and I want to say this: we talked, and not everyone really knows like our purpose in doing this. So
Yeah.
we might need to touch on that a little bit with every episode. So we explained last time that we're going to talk about these things and we want you to be a part of the conversation. So if you disagreed with us, if you agreed with us, if you think we're crazy or something that we said is really stupid, let us know. And we can continue to have these discussions and continue to include everyone in the conversation. And at the end of the day, we're not going to let it divide us or let it cause hatred between us as believers. So,
Yeah. So ultimately, what we wanted to do was create a place where we can have these conversations, disagree on some things, step on some toes potentially,
yeah,
um, and say that's okay.
yeah,
Like it's a secondary issue. We have so many different denominations. We have Protestants, Catholics, Orthodox. Um, I don't think that was Christ's intention. I feel like a lot my I feel like I guess my prayer is that the body can come together.
Yeah.
Despite the differences, the body can come together. I think that's something that would truly honor Christ, glorify Christ, and that, okay, if you're Pentecostal and tongues is kind of where you separate yourself from a Baptist who says you can't wear a hat in the sanctuary,
Mm.
or, um, a Baptist says you have to be baptized by submersion, and Catholics say you need to be sprinkled. Like all of that stuff aside, I feel like you can still come together as the ecclesia and gather and worship Christ.
Yeah.
And so that's where, yeah, the basis of this kind of started.
Yeah. Oh, we would genuinely love to feel like we have a community of people from all different backgrounds that can come together and like I mean, hopefully one day we can all meet up and have break bread together, and
Yes.
sit down and have a meal and discuss our ideas and
I mean,
not be separated by denomination and background and whatever else.
yeah, I feel like that's the one thing that I feel like really probably breaks Jesus's heart is to know that we let these issues divide us when ultimately, if we're united, imagine who we're actually reaching
Yeah.
versus people that don't believe and they're sitting here saying, you want me to be this or you want me to be that, but you guys can't even agree, and yet you expect me to agree with you.
Yeah, and then imagine someone that's completely new to the concept of God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, whatever, and they have two people. Maybe you got Pentecostal, whoever on this side talking in this ear, and you've got, I don't know, Catholic talking in this ear, and they do things totally different because this is like very Protestant but Pentecostal, and this is very Catholic traditional. How are they supposed to even like know where to go at this point? What if they have two people in their life that are witnessing to them, but those two people make it seem like you have to do it this way or you have to do it that way? Like, if they can't decide, maybe they feel like, I don't even know if I want this Jesus thing anymore, you
Right,
know?
because ultimately we're not making it about Jesus, we're making it about the issues that are dividing us.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not saying that you can't, like, you can have people from both of those backgrounds that are genuinely pouring life into that person and, letting them see all the good things that, could be in store for them if they give their life to Christ. But it doesn't take
From their
away from,
perspective.
yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't mean like just because they are pouring life into that person, they both could be doing it very well without bringing up all the things about their denomination.
Yeah.
But it still could be confusing and it still could be a stumbling block to people.
Yeah. Well, and I think what I was getting at is the last thing we want is to where we're so caught up in trying to convince one another who's right and who's wrong
Yeah.
that we're not even able to focus on the ones that don't even know the gospel.
Yeah.
And I know I feel like no matter what background denomination you are, we can all understand, hopefully, and agree that making disciples is important. It's the Great Commission.
Yeah.
That's what we're called to do. But it makes it pretty difficult whenever we're caught up in our own little battles among each other.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by, yeah, bringing the body together and going to war with each other, not against each other.
Yeah. Just I just think about like how much we could impact people that don't know Jesus if we put all of these traditions and opinions aside and we just decided to go serve people together.
Yeah.
Just imagine if in our county where we live, if all of the churches decided to go do a huge project together. I mean, all of the churches, not all of the Baptist churches, not all of the Methodist churches, whatever, like everybody.
Not your church logo, not
Yeah.
anything. You're going for
Just
Jesus.
everybody who's a Christian in Blount County, just come. Let's do this huge. I said our county, whatever. Let's do this huge project together. Like that would be awesome. Imagine the things that we could accomplish together on behalf of the Lord. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we could truly be the hands and feet of Jesus to people that don't know him. Or people that do know him and just need some extra help,
Well, and that's where I say, you had the Protestants, the Reformation, where the word Protestant comes from protesting. Um, but I know I tell you a good bit. I feel like we're kind of at the cusp of a new Reformation, but not a Reformation to divide, a
Mm-hmm.
Reformation to bring everyone back together.
Yeah. Like I want that so bad.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, that's all we got for this week.
Yeah.
Um, go Spain! Congratulations to those
Yeah.
guys.
You have a question for next week?
I don't, but
Oh.
I was gonna say, well, I've got it. I just don't know what it is. So I'll attach it to
Okay.
the descriptions of this one or
All
whatever.
right.
But I do want to just shout out. I know we touched on it, but those World Cup guys that really use their platform to glorify God, that was awesome to see.
Yeah.
Um,
Love seeing the players praying on the field.
right. So no matter what you're doing this week, go out, glorify God in all that you do. Use your platform, no matter how small you think it is. I think it will impact others.
Mm-hmm.
Um, looking forward to doing this again next week. And peace and grace to y'all.
See y'all.
See you.